Chemistry crew, time to move on with even more laboratory equipment. Okay, what am I up to now? Okay, here we go. We are up to, it's called a stand or a ring stand. Ring stand and clamps. Okay. I know it sounds like a funny name because if you look at the stand, I don't see any rings. Well, the reason why this is called a ring stand is because one of the most common clamps that you clamp onto it is a ring clamp made of stainless steel. So what good is this? Well, believe it or not, a lot. So these stands, right, look at why it's called a stand. It allows many different clamps to be attached for different uses. So that ring clamp, right? I could take this Crucible Triangle and this Crucible, which is currently empty. We'll get to these guys in a moment. And let's say I have a chemical that I want to try to melt or heat up to a high temperature, or maybe dry something off by heating it up. I'll use the stand to set up a crucible and the triangle. And now I've got, there you go. All right, there we go. So now I've got the stand helping me set up a piece of equipment. All right, by the way, the word apparatus, every time you hear apparatus, that just means a setup. So this is all laboratory apparatus. All right, as you can see over here, I have another clamp that's making sure that this flask is secured. Okay, that's another clamp. You can see I've got another type of clamp holding this equipment here. I've got another type of clamp that can hold on to this piece of equipment, and you know, I'm showing these individually set up. If you wanted to, in a real like science lab in like a university, I mean, you'll have this stand, then another, then another, then another, then another, and you could make an experiment that's set up like this. So, hope I'm not blocking your view, but ring stand and clamps. It allows for many different laboratory setups to be held in place. Easy enough. So, yep, the stands and clamps allow many different laboratory setups to be held in place. Here we go. Okay. Now let's get back to, you kind of saw this one in action. Now I just moved it stupidly. Okay. What is this? This is a crucible and a crucible triangle. So, crucible, it's the ceramic thing that looks like a teacup. It's a crucible and a crucible triangle. Now, you probably know this from home. When we make materials, when we make something out of the material called ceramic, you probably already noticed, ceramic, if you drop it, it's toast, right? But the thing about ceramics is that they can get to very, very high temperatures, like hotter than molten rock, and not melt. Okay? Ceramics can get to very high temperatures without melting. So, we use crucibles to heat substances to extremely high temperature, or very high temperature, okay? At least twice as hot as the hottest your oven can get at home. So the triangle is where we sit the crucible on top of, and you'd put the substance in there. By the way, a little bit of a safety thing we'll talk about more, but here's the thing about crucibles. You can't tell that this thing is unbelievably hot right now, and if you just came into the lab and you didn't know I just had that turned on, and you were like, oh, I gotta move this, and you grab it, you're gonna hear psst as the water gets evaporated out of your skin. So, heads up with crucibles. Don't touch them until you bring your hand. We'll talk about more safety stuff, but just while we're at it, don't ever grab a crucible. If you notice, I have a pair of bronze or brass crucible tongs. Never touch these unless you check first. And the safest bet is just don't touch them. I have seen people have some skin come off because they were like, I'm going to grab the crucible, and they weren't paying attention in the lab, and they got burnt really badly. Okay? So, crucibles are ceramic containers for heating substances to very high temperature. Okay? This one, we've seen this in the kitchen. As a matter of fact, your kitchen is a chemistry lab. When you cook food, you're just doing chemical reactions. So yeah, this pilon, right? This is a mortar and pestle. So let me write that. This is a mortar and pestle. You've made some awesome guacamole or some pasteles. You know what's up with that. This is a mortar and pestle. And you know what this is for. Let's say you have something and it's in one big piece or a chunk and you don't want that. Right? You powder something. So you could use this to powderize or crush a substance. Okay? We're going to learn about that more in chemistry. What you're doing when you crush or powder something, you're taking the surface area and you're making it bigger. So you're basically spreading the stuff out, okay? So that's actually, you know, it's kind of why, like, if you crush up some sugar, it'll dissolve in water faster than a big chunk of candy. So whether you're in a kitchen or a chem lab, the mortar and pestle is for crushing and turning things into a powder or a paste, right? If there's some water, you can make like a paste. And there's many reasons why you might want to do that. Maybe you have some like type of plant and you want to get to the chemicals in the plant. Well, you got to break it up first, right? That's how humans have discovered many medications in history. Take a plant that you notice animals chew on and it makes them feel better, like a willow tree, crush it up, find the chemicals in the plant that works, and it's medicine. That's where aspirin is from, right? That's how we have artificial banana and cherry and flavors. Break up the fruit or the plant, find out what makes it smell or taste like that, and make it in a lab. Okay, on to more equipment in the next video.